So my understanding right now is that there was a 911 call hang up. The dispatcher assumed that it was based on some prior issues at this address that there was this, which may have been an assault. Why the dispatcher assumed that, we're not sure yet, but that's the assumption. The dispatcher sent police out. The police came out. There was some type of conversation or confrontation between the young man and the police. The young man had a stick in his hand, and the police shot him 4 times, is my understanding. I'm not exactly sure how many.
So as an activist, what brought you out?
What brought me out is the fact that we've been telling our mayor his behaviors, the things that he says to the police department and to his followers and his supporters, that based on those things, this was going to happen.
I saw you spend some time with the family, or I think that's family over there. What's going on with them right now, and what's next?
Well, that young lady there, that is the girlfriend. She's extremely upset right now. Of course, she's blaming herself. Her thing is, when she called the police, she was crying. She was not yelling or screaming, and she was just crying because she wanted them to come and get him some help. She wanted him to be placed on a 72-hour mental health home.
So the police had been out here before for this couple?
Yes. And they were aware of his bipolar and schizophrenic status, according to the girlfriend.
Anything else you'd like to mention or any concerns you might have?
This is why we need programs. We don't need to oversaturate or militarize our police. We need programs to address mental health and domestic violence. Right now, we have a mayor that is a mayor and a city council that are really adamant about continuously adding police without proper training. We have, in the city of Mesquite, our police officers are given an option whether or not they wear a taser or not, and that's an issue for us.
Are you a part of a group, your activist group, or is it just?
Yes, so we do have a Minorities and Allies of Mesquite Facebook group where we do a lot with our local politics. Our local
So in case you guys didn't hear, about just after 7 o'clock this morning, there's a 911 call into Mesquite with a hang up, and then they called back. It was a individual calling out and reaching out for help. And Mesquite PD shows up and ends up killing this guy. From what I understand, he's a 25-year-old black male with mental health issues. These people have been out here all morning.
Like they were trying to resuscitate. They were just asking everyone if they had heard anything or seen anything.
As far as the screaming, could you make out what they were screaming about, or?
No, she was just screaming. She wasn't saying anything. It was more like, oh no, yelling and screaming.
Did you hear gunshots?
No.
So walk me through again. You were sleeping and just tell me again.
I was asleep and I heard screaming along with my outside because they heard the screaming.
And when you went out there,
So the gentleman that was killed, I say murdered, he all he had was a cane. Hey, what's up, Spot Check News?
Your name and you're a family member. I mean, family friend.
Yeah,
First name Ty, last name Hardaway. And this is a tragic event. And make no mistake about it, it deals with mental illness. Apparently, the officers came out and they basically, if you look at the statement that the officer made right there were some pinpointed questions that weren't too good. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it or make it look bad or make it look like it's an issue worse than what it is. We asked pinpoint questions in reference to somebody asked about why doesn't he have a taser? And his response was, we have the option to wear a taser or a firearm. And so if you don't have a taser and you choose just to have a firearm, that means you're going to use pretty much deadly force. And I think that is what was real bad. Really bad.
The girlfriend looks pretty upset. Why?
Yeah, she was very upset because she was there when it took place. She witnessed it. She for something like that to happen in front of you, and he had a stick in his hand. He had a stick in his hand. I'm not trying to say that still justified what took place. Just kind of put it out there that he had a stick in his hand. He did have a stick in his hand. I don't know if he lunged at him. I know he walked around, from my understanding, he walked around the corner. The officer was saying something like, don't do it or something. Don't do it. And when he walked around the corner, I think it was 4 shots or something that she said. And she feels really bad about it because she was there, of course. But this involves mental health. We asked the officer, how often do they have mental health training? And he said he's not sure about the days that they do it, but he did say that they had it. So there's some serious concerns on both sides in reference to what's going on. And this is going to continue to happen if we do not. I think they want us to move over off the street. But,
We're good.
This
Hey, did the police ask you to get the media off the property, or did you do that on your own? So that's the apartment manager right there. She ran everybody off the property earlier. Probably because the police and chief came out.
Senator Corning and the governor needs to be at this town hall meeting, because you can't fix a problem until you understand the problem. What is the problem? You have an officer that might be a good guy. He comes to work, he wants to serve and protect. Then you have a court system that works against the person that's being apprehended. So there's a distrust there. So in order to fix that, everybody has to be on the same accord, and you're not. And really, that's the only way you're going to solve it. That woman is missing a son. He had babies. He's not going to see his kids. How do you tell a 2 or 3 or 4-year-old that your dad is gone? You know, this woman is left. She went to go ID her son's body at the hospital. I mean, that's hard. I mean, that's not an emotion that you wake up for. But what we can't do is sit down and do nothing. Doing nothing is, we're done with doing nothing. Either you want to be involved. If you're a governor and a politician, if you're listening today, even the president needs to be here. For real, they need to be here. We need to be saying, okay, what's the problem? How do we fix the problem? We have to. I mean, how many lives has to be lost? This could be anyone. This could be anybody's kid, grandkid. You know, this could have been a young lady with a mental health issue. I believe that, you know, the police department training is outdated. We're constantly evolving as a society, and if you're training me something for a society that was 30 years ago, you can't train me like that today and expect me to react the same way, or my response is going to be the same. And that's why you're seeing the differences out there, no matter what police municipalities that you have out there. So, I mean, I'm saying right now, whatever governor, senator in the state of Texas or in the nation right now, May 17th at Murphy's Mansion, we're going to sit down and have a round table. I'm inviting the governor, the senators, and the city hall members to be there. If you're not there, then honestly, we don't need to elect you. You don't need to be elected. This is something that affects us all. And if you really care, you got it. Murphy's Mansion, May the 17th, from 5 to 7. We're going to have a couple of issues that we're going to talk about. And I think there would be simple solutions to this problem. We should be having videos made, how to interact with the police, simple communication like that can save somebody's life. If you really care, then that's what we need to be doing.
And I'm sorry.
Account of what happened. Who have you heard that from?
I was talking to my mother. She was there.
She was there at the time.
She was there when it happened. She was there when it unfolded. She saw what happened, and it was pretty sad for her. It was very traumatic for her. It's traumatic right now for her. So I don't want to say, but I think there'll be more details that will come out, and probably other things that are trying to help everybody understand what took place and what's going on. But I think this is really bad, like a smoking gun. This is gonna be bad.
And I'm sorry. The only thing he had in his hand was that stick.
It was a stick in his hand.
Do they live together here?
I don't know. Well, I've seen him here many times before with that same stick. He walks with it. So I'm assuming he might have been here or visiting. I don't know. Like, if he does not, I don't see him going to the house like this.
Teacher, did she?
My name is Ty Hardy. T-Y, last name Hardy. H-A-R-D-A-W-A-Y.
And do you live here, or did you just come to help the family?
Sorry?
Do you know who made the call, or how did it all unfold?
Respond to it urgently is the way that people.
What was it?
Now, what do you expect mental health issues have?
The person who was involved was out of his medication, and he's dealing with mental health issues.
Was the family just trying to get help from him, or what was the call?
I'm sorry, the family trying to get help from him.
For him? Is that why they made the call?
I believe I don't know if that's what transpired it or how we got to that point. I don't want to speculate about that. All I know is this issue is a mental health issue with the deceased because I believe he passed away, and I know he's on his medication. So at this time, I think what they're trying to do is just, get the body and try to get some answers because as of right now, the mom doesn't have very many answers, and like I said, that's a real tough emotional. Wake up today, have a son, and in the night,
Do you know what mental health issue he struggled with?
man. Man.
Was it his mom that he was arguing with, though?
Man.
Oh, okay.
The girlfriend, I believe, is who he was talking to, and I'm not sure how it escalated or how it got to the point to where it got to, but I know it ended up with somebody being deceased.
And everybody lives here, girlfriend, him, and mom?
I don't know. The mom was called from where she lived, and by the time she got here, her son was already deceased.
Thank
Thank you.
Ryan?
Ty.
Is that the family over there? I guess where are they?
You know, that's the girlfriend that was actually involved.
Okay, which one?
The little short one. It was a little short one.
With the red ponytail? One of her family members?
Ty, real quick.
Can we just get your phone number?
So you see where we're at right here. We're in Mesquite. These police officers showed up this morning, and from what we can tell from all accounts that we've been given, this family called and asked for help, and Mesquite PD, as they usually do, shows up, and they ended up killing them. 4 shots. Multiple witnesses are saying they heard 4 shots. He appeared to have a cane. It wasn't a stick. It could be a stick, but it looked like a cane to me. happened right over here in that apartment. So the two police officers that killed him, they get a paid vacation now. They don't even have to make their statements, their official statements, for 72 hours. So they have until Friday morning to make a statement. Apparently, Mesquite PD already had interactions with this gentleman. So they knew who he was. They knew that he had mental health issues. And I guess these two police officers today decided that they had enough and decided to take lethal action on whatever happened. So it'll be interesting to see the body cam footage. But given that it's Mesquite PD and what we know about modern day policing and law enforcement, they probably escalated the situation and just ended up killing him. But Smash, the topic here in Dallas, he gained access into there through one of these units and was able to look at the crime scene. Family members are saying, I don't know if you heard him, but family members are saying that the girlfriend called and was asking for help, mental health, to get this guy some mental help. And they ended up sending the police. But I get people all the time asking me and requesting that I come out and film in Mesquite. Mesquite is not a outstanding and honest and upright department. Much like many of these departments out here in Texas or anywhere across the nation, this department's corrupt and try to conceal their evil doings. I had to work this morning. Nothing would have changed. These guys have been out here on the sidewalk for a couple hours. I did miss the press conference, but they don't say anything in those press conferences anyways. They say as minimal as possible and try to cover for the officers. So, but we need to end paid vacations for police officers that kill. We need to end qualified immunity. We need to end this bull crap about 72 hours before they have to give their official statement. We need, within reason, like within a few hours, we need the immediate names of all people involved, personnel, because these people work for us, you know. We need all dash cam and body cam footage to be uploaded. It's the same business day when incidents happen, so they don't accidentally get deleted, or they don't conceal them for months or years while they try to cover up what happened. What's up, James Phoenix? Hey, Juice Man, Safety Man. Hey, Lacey RM Star. Craig Terrell. Fuck DSS. Polo Joseph. Hello, Janet Matson. Jerome H. I guess everybody's wrapping up to leave. The chief of police and everybody here earlier, you would not have been able to tell that a murder just happened, because these guys had no concern or discernment for the family. It was all smiles. They were all, you know, seemed happy to see each other. It was almost like they were at a class reunion. I would have thought the Dallas PD would have showed up to do an investigation. I don't see Dallas PD. Maybe these guys in these cars are investigators from the city of Dallas. Usually when there's an officer involved shooting, they call in DPS or Dallas County to come in and do their own investigation. Look at these sovereign citizens, man. They literally just walk in the road and expect cars to stop for them. Dumbasses. Carolina would get arrested for that. Acura Amanda gets arrested for that. But these guys, you know, they get to do whatever they want. These damn sovereign citizens. Well, another one down. It's very tragic. It'd be interesting to see the body cam. They'll probably try to hide it as long as they can. Too bad none of the neighbors or too bad they even made the call, you know. We need to try to help teach and train our fellow brothers and sisters never to call the cops unless it's absolutely necessary. Because as you see, when you call the police, you're rolling the dice, man. These police officers are trained to lie. They're trained to kill and murder. They're trained to cover for each other. They're not here to protect and service. They're not here to do good deeds. You know, they may do a public Photoshop op, like, you know, bringing some poor family some Christmas toys or something. Maybe helping an old lady cross the street once in a while. But generally, that's not their character. That may be one or two decent officers in their department, but that's not the department in general. And that's all across the board. That's every department from what I've seen. Yeah, so we're in Mesquite, Texas. A family, a girlfriend of this gentleman, the 25-year-old male that was killed, has 4 kids, from what we understand. Had mental health issues, needed help this morning. The girlfriend called 911 and then decided to hang up. Dispatch sent police out. Dispatch reports that it was a domestic violence issue. Mesquite PD shows up. Mesquite PD has had interactions. How many, I'm not sure, but family members and friends are saying that they've had several interactions with this 25-year-old black male. They knew who he was. They knew that he had mental health issues. And apparently he walks with a cane. It looked like a cane for me when I saw it. But they show up, and I'm not sure what happened. Neighbors said they heard screams and people yelling, and then 2 police officers, a male and a female, shot him 4 times, at least 4 times. Neighbors and witnesses are saying they heard 4 gunshots, and killed him. But even if he was walking towards him with a cane or a stick, I mean, if a guy has a limp and he's walking towards me, and he may be buff, we don't know. But you have tasers, you have pepper spray. And if any of you guys have ever been directly pepper sprayed, that will immediately cause you to stop what you're doing. So, them having interactions with him before, I wouldn't necessarily say a stick is a deadly weapon. It can be a deadly weapon. But you'd have to sit there and beat on somebody and get like very accurate hits, like to the temple and to the head and like straight to the heart. Like it would take some work to render someone defenseless and then kill them with a stick, especially a cane. So one of the officers could have held their gun, the other could have used pepper spray if they wanted to, knowing that this guy had mental issues, because it would have been on their notes. Just so many other solutions. It should be state law, it should be national law that if there's a mental health crisis, that police do not show up, that third parties, I wouldn't even say social workers, because social workers do some of the most evil work in our country. Yeah, police officers all too often look for things to do to get paid vacation, such as kill people. So I missed the press conference, but I'm sure mainstream media and fake news asked a bunch of kickball questions. Very few in the mainstream media now have any integrity. Very few are true journalists. And I kind of get it. I'm sure they get directives from their boss, but still. I wonder if that's the FBI over there in that Chevy Suburban. You guys see that Chevy Suburban over there? They have looks like some flat satellite dishes or something up on the top of that back end of that roof. Juice Man says rules of engagement allow them to do it, and their lack of humanity, compassion, and morals is what we are seeing from our militarized police officers. It's true. Hello, Freedom to Film. Green Mirrors 5555 says it's never necessary to call a lawyer, family, or friends. Never call. Oh, call a lawyer, family, or friends. Never call the police. True. The police should be the last people you try to call or think of trying to call. Like I said, man, they're very rarely, if ever, do they help you. They're trained to lie. They lie on their statements. They're trained to try to hem you up. They're not there to help you. They'll perjure and lie in court to get a conviction. The judges and the DA help with this corrupt system. And I say it's all a game, but it's not a game. I mean, these are people's lives, that they affect every day. Dallas County, before the pandemic, Dallas County was having 2,500 cases run through their court system every day. I'm sure these smaller towns like Mesquite and Rockwall probably don't have quite as many, but you'd be amazed at how many cases run through a court system a day. And every single one of those cases are people, an individual that, they may or may not be trying to hem up. And there are criminals out there that need to be prosecuted and need to have a fair hearing and trial. But I would say it's nowhere near what we have now. I wouldn't even say it's probably 30%. I'd say maybe 30% of the cases and trials that we have out there right now are people and individuals that actually need to be prosecuted. Hey, Jim Allen. Hey, Mike Malloy. Where do you audit? I wear a body cam 24/7, 364. That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea, sir. Douglas Master said that, so they called 911, decide to hang up. Dispatch assumes and reports it as a domestic. Cop step it up, probably running code. Yeah, they probably came in all amped up. I'd walk back there, but there's nothing there. They've cleaned up the blood. Regina Madison, good morning. How you doing? I have to pay for the massive police salaries and stolen overtime. Police force needs to be cut by 40%. That's true. You and I, when you falsely inflate your salaries, and work overtime that doesn't need to be made, that's called theft. Theft and embezzlement. And if you and I committed theft and embezzlement, more likely the DA would prosecute us and attempt to put us in jail. But because these police officers are sovereign citizens and are literally above the law, very few cases, when they do wrong, they very rarely get prosecuted, if prosecuted at all. And a lot of times, even if they are prosecuted, they're done half-heartedly. So it's not a real prosecution, not like they would an actual criminal or even someone that's innocent like you and me. But yeah, it's called theft and embezzlement. So when police officers inflate their salary, when even firemen inflate their salaries, any public servant inflates their salaries, that's called theft, embezzlement, and should be prosecuted and forced to make restitution. I'm not saying every case they should be put in jail in a cage, but definitely should be prosecuted and make restitution for their evil deeds. So we're here in Mesquite, Texas, about half an hour north of Dallas. I'm on Oates and Northwest. I just decided to stop here. All right, guys. Thanks for coming in. I'll keep you guys updated on this case. We're not going to know the officer's name for 3 more days. And then more than likely they're going to try to conceal the body cam footage. They're probably going to try to conceal the 911 calls. And do everything they can to make this prolong the trial or prosecution or investigation as long as possible. You know, the same old tactics. Hoping that people lose interest in the case and move on with their daily lives. But I'm gonna go get some lunch and get back to work. I appreciate you guys. Hopefully y'all have a good, productive day. Be safe and stay vigilant. Love you guys. Take care.